Just add love. Stop one so serious. Just add love. A little more lenience. Just add love. The key ingredient.
And we're on. Our conversation started the concept behind this podcast, and that's the main reason why. Because
remind me which conversation?
There were a lot of them, but I think just us talking, we'd have several deep conversations about issues, current issues, whatever. And I just found like the conversations we were having were super hilarious.
Just because I get very animated and
animated is the word.
Passionate.
Yeah. But the funny thing I keep saying or thinking about is everything you've said, majority of the things you've said have 100% merit to it.
Yeah. And I'm just not articulate because every time I try to have an argument or convince, especially at work, I try to convince the guys, whether it's politics or whatever we're talking about.
Yeah.
I get angry very quickly or passionate the way I say it. And then it kind of discredits the entire argument because I'm getting angry and things like that. And they're just people, I feel like they're triggering me by not agreeing with me immediately. I've got no patience for arguing.
Yeah. What are you trying to convince them on? Like, what are some of the things that you feel like you need to convince people at work about?
So there's one of the guys I work with. Well, he seems to be he loves this whole capitalist thing and governments shouldn't be involved in people's lives and it should be survival of the fittest. And then I point out how that doesn't make any sense and what kind of society you want to live in. And then he switches from being like this ultra capitalist to being an anarchist, and it just drives me insane. And he always, and for example, the halal certification thing, this always comes up. He gets triggered. He reckons that no one should be charging for halal certification. I go, in a perfect world, that'll happen. But the people that need to do it need to get paid. And then he goes down this path about how no one should be charging for halal certification. We should be doing it for free as a community.
Okay.
That's one thing that gets right. Another thing that triggers me. You know, you come out, you got all these racists out there bagging out our community. It's our fault. And that just triggers me. I go, how is it our fault?
What do you mean our fault?
It's like, we give them an excuse to hate us because, you know, we've got members in our community that are criminals. I go, but there's criminals in every community.
Sure.
Why should I take personal responsibility?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he ducks and weaves, but really he's a secret liberal voter. That's why. It just drives me insane. And he's also related to me. That drives me even more insane. But that's I just can't handle that stuff, and I get triggered.
It's our fault, huh? Well, just because we have negative people in our community, I don't think that means anything.
No, exactly, and I don't know.
And that's where I think, like looking at this context that we're in 2019, like how interesting is it that there may be two exactly the same, let's just hypothetically say two different communities with exactly the same quote unquote problems, right? But then because of the way the media is geared, the way social media happens, because of a lot of things around media and social media, and everyone can be a star in a matter of little time. It's about who's louder. You know, I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and from a good community organization doing amazing work, and they go, you know, like I was taking photos at this seminar we were doing, and I felt wrong because like instilled in us is this kind of desire or need to be like humble, right? We don't want to brag about the kind of work that we're doing because we're doing it for the right reasons. But he said it needs to be done. Otherwise, it's almost like it doesn't exist. And I guess it's this balancing act between how much do we try and expose and how much do we, you know, I guess
it's really also like the way I process things and happening. I've actually, centrists. I used to love sitting on the fence. It's like, there's good and bad, and all that kind of shit. And then you see things happening in the community, and I used to have that approach, like, it's, you know, it's their fault people hate us because they're acting like thugs. Right?
Yep.
Then I came back and go, hang on a second, why are they acting like thugs? They come from you know, like there's an actual reason. Thugs are not just born. Right? There's something happens. It's the way society. They're product of society, right? I'm not going to just blame them. These guys that were out when those cartoons were happening, when they were drawing the cartoons of the Prophet ﷺ, and all those brothers went down to the park and were losing their mind and protesting. They don't know any better. They actually don't know any better. They've got no outlet. And then you've got our leaders like either staying quiet because they think it's 1950s Egypt. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to say anything because they think they'll go to jail. And then we come out of the woodwork to throw them under the bus when they go smash a few windows. I'm not condoning smashing a few windows, but in the grand scheme of things, like, all right, they got angry, they smashed a few windows. Deal with it. Yeah, the don't go out of your way. This was the tipping point for me. I don't know if you remember the incident. Let's go give flowers to the police to say thank you for literally setting the dogs on the people that were protesting in our community. Say, we appreciate what you do for us. No, fuck off. I don't want to, but they're doing their job. And they were actually heavy-handed. Yeah. So why are we going out of their way to give them flowers? Why didn't you go help the people that got bashed and pepper sprayed for no reason? Go give them flowers. So that kind of shifted me from this whole... And I hate saying the word moderate because I'm not an extreme. But it was like, oh yeah, we have to try to be better and we be the best version of ourselves and the people will love us more. No, they're not going to love us more. No, the people are either indifferent to us, they don't care what we do, or they hate your guts, or they're an ally. That's it. The people that hate your guts, they're not going to change them. I'm about to bang the table. I'm being very careful not to. The people that hate our guts are not going to change their mind if you invite them over for a kebab at the mosque or you buy them flowers, all right? Yeah. They're not going to change their minds.
You don't believe that? No. At all?
Not the rusted on racists like Pauline Hanson and Corey Bernardi and everyone of their ilk. The people that get changed are the little old lady, you know? Her name's Marge. She's like 85 years old. All right? I'm saying this. We had a neighbour called Marge Haram. She was the nicest lady. All right? Or she just turns on a current affair. She reads that stuff. Or she gets a bit scared. But the first time she meets a Muslim, and then she realizes, hey, they're not as scary as news. That's it. The bigotry kind of dies away.
Yeah. But what about the people who have come back from extreme views or
have they
come back from the brink?
But how did they come back?
Look, I'm not saying they're coming back in masses.
But how did they come back? Is it because someone went and gave them a flower?
Not necessarily
exactly. So why are we doing these stupid PR stunts? Why are we wasting? Oh, this is old. This is ancient history. No. Why would you do that shit? Why are you wasting the community's time and money and effort on trying to make racists hate us when we've got enough of our own problems? Why don't you focus all that energy on your own community?
But I think that's also their way of...
Because every time... Again, here, I'm going to go on a rant now. Because the people that usually do this, they actually hate... I feel like they hate their own community and they're trying to distance themselves. Look at us, we're the good ones. Yeah, we're going to give you flowers. These people are fucking scumbags. They deserve to be in jail. That's the positioning I read of it. Even though I was sitting there watching going, all right, I was actually at that point... Yeah, these guys shouldn't have gone down there. Yeah. They shouldn't have smashed windows. It serves no purpose. All right? And they should be charged with crimes. I was still thinking that in my mind. And then all of a sudden, we're going to give flowers to the police. And they just said, you know what? No, that's wrong. I'm not going to agree with that. So that kind of got me thinking, hang on a second.
But what is it?
My thinking leads down this path of where you throw your community down under the bus to do all these grand gestures that actually don't achieve nothing.
How are they throwing the community under the bus?
Because you're not supporting them, man. You're not supporting your own community. They had valid concerns. They had valid. What's the word?
What if there are people doing both?
Doing what?
Like giving flowers
to the cops and helping the people that were arrested.
These guys in jail. And
show me who gives flowers to cops and goes and supports the guys.
There are people that I know personally that
do both.
I can see that do both.
Man, they must
be
very
not very specifically. They were there giving flowers, but.
Look, I'm not saying I'm not like, even though.
But I mean the concept, the idea of like.
I can see. Yeah, you try to work with the wider community and you help your community, but there's like have some self-respect, man. For fuck's sake, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to, right? I'm not telling you to go out and scream all cops are bastards in the streets and shit like that. No, I'm not saying that. Okay. But have some self-respect. Yeah. Don't be a. But how does that take
away their respect? Like,
how do I articulate it? This is why I'm not good at arguing.
That's fine. We're exploring it. We're exploring the idea. Look, I think.
So the thing is, the cops, right? They're supposed to be some neutral body that polices society as a whole. Yeah. Right. So they're doing their job. They're supposed to treat everybody equally. You don't see other communities coming out and kissing their asses for doing their jobs. So why should we be expected to do that? It's almost like we're trying to prove our loyalty.
I don't think it's proving the loyalty. I think it's
No, it's
trying
'cause
to
it's on
soothe.
us.
It's trying to soothe. It's trying
Taking
taking
off
off
my
the jacket,
Yeah, no. It's
rolling
not,
up the
yeah,
sleeve.
but why? That's not our job. Why should we? The police are going to have to deal with difficult
But,
communities or difficult
yeah.
issues without having people from those communities come up and give them a pat on the shoulder.
But aren't we taught to treat people better than they treat us?
Yeah, but I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go spit on the police.
Yeah.
I'm saying treat them the way they should. They're a neutral force.
Yeah.
The minimum amount of respect you need to give them, that's all you give. You don't give more.
Why not?
Why?
Because it's alleviating some of the
All right.
pressure
So
or the
if
tension.
you're one of these ideal people
Yeah.
that you can go and treat the police with all this mad respect, and you treat the rest of your community with that respect as well, you're a fucking awesome person. But generally, from my experience, the people that are kiss-assing usually are looking down on their own community because they think they're better.
Shouldn't we strive?
Can I name drop? Can I name drop somebody? It's not an example. This is someone that's like a bootlicker.
Yeah.
Like, we all know who he is. He's a famous doctor in Lakemba.
Yeah,
Everybody hates his guts.
I think that's
all right.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say anymore.
Yeah.
We love Australia. He done a barbecue. We love Australia. Got the fucking Scott Morrison, the current PM, when he was an immigration minister, put him on his shoulders, started dancing around with him in Parry Park. Meanwhile, they've got gulags running in the Pacific Islands somewhere.
Yeah.
Mainly probably brown and Muslim people on there. We love Australia. No, I don't have to love Australia. You already got your citizenship. That's it. You say I love Australia on the citizenship ceremony. You don't have to prove it anymore. Okay. So why are you doing that show?
Do you feel like that's part of the problem though? Is that this whole separation of community and the country that we live in? Like I'm Australian. Like I was born and raised.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have to prove to you. I can get out there and say fuck Australia.
Yeah.
All right, because I'm Australian and I'm not happy with the way it's going, so I can say that. Yeah. I don't have to prove my Australianness to you.
I agree on that point.
All right, I don't have to go like turn into like a fucking Australia man with the Australia cape and run around like a bogan to show that I belong here. I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So, because the moment you start going down that path, that I have to prove I'm Australian. That means that means everything, right? Potentially. You're not Australian enough, so we're going to take it away from you. No, that's it. Yeah. What are your laws? You were born here. You're Australian. That's it. But if I'm a criminal or I'm not a criminal or whatever, that's the law. Yeah. Well, that's the citizen. Like, I'm a citizen. You can't. Like you commit a crime, it can't be. It's not conditional. It's not going to. If they start going to me, because your dad or your grandfather was Lebanese, we can technically take away your citizenship and fuck off to where you came from because you didn't pay some fines or you damaged Commonwealth property or some bullshit. Like, fuck off. Like, why? Are you going to do that to any white people? They're not going to do that to white people. They're not.
What if the argument was made? Okay. I'm not saying it's a very good argument.
Yeah, let's go.
What if there's an argument that's made that says that it's just our turn?
You know those people that make those arguments? They can go and get fucked. Like, seriously. I've heard it. Yeah. The Greeks got it when they first came. Yeah. And then the Italians got it. And then the Asians. Yep. And now it's time for the Muslims. Like, fuck off, bro. Like, what's this shit? What is it like?
Look, I'm not saying it's
right. Is this like a racist Wheel of Fortune or something? Like, seriously. Like, alright. They went through that. That's bad. They shouldn't have gone through that. We should be moving forward, not moving backwards. Yeah. No, I agree with that. That's not a valid argument. Whoever makes that argument is a dumb shit. No, but and the argument... And they think the race... Sorry, I keep on cutting you off. That's all right. You'll be lucky to get a word in. The people that make that argument think that, you're getting cut because of people are calling you a wog or they're calling you a chink or some whatever other racist term they come up with. It's not about that. That's the least of our worries. Right? That's the least. It's just how the entire community is being cast or treated. We're demonized, man. We're being demonized. Okay. Like, you got people full on calling, everyone should be deported. Like, I'm surprised that they haven't called to put us into ovens yet. Like, what's next? Like, and this is the problem I have with some of our older community members. Just ignore it, brother. Just do it. What do you want to wait for? Do you actually want to wait when they've got the ovens turned on? Like, when do you speak up? Yeah. All right. You're in a country where, all right, you're allowed to speak up with little repercussions. Like, you still have repercussions. They'll decimate you in the media, but they're not going to come in the middle of the night and take you away like 1950s Egypt, right? Because I'm part of a mosque organization, but I feel like they're very risk averse to a fault. Like, something happened. Oh, we should, tell the minister, send them a press release. They can't do this. Or, oh, no, brother, let's just keep our heads down. Why? Why do you want to keep your head down? Why? What's the worst that can happen? Everything they're doing is already bad. Like, what's going to happen? What's next? So what? Yeah. They already hate you. What have you got to lose? The only thing you're losing is credibility within your own community, and that's why you have all these young guys thinking, "Oh, all our leaders are sellouts." They're not. The guys are not sellouts. They're just scared. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't want to put their heads up over the parapet.
But maybe it's because they come from a place of trauma as well.
They do.
In their home countries. That's right. If they stood up and they said something,
they'd get killed. That's why I keep on telling them it's not Egypt. It's not 1950s Egypt. You're allowed to speak up. All right. I can understand.
But doesn't that take time?
How much time do we have? How many generations?
Look, we're in Australia, right? Yeah. We're a young country as a whole. Not even our community.
Our community is only like 2 or 3 generations.
Yeah. Well, how old's the country as a whole? 200 years old, 250, something like that. Not good at maths, but approximately. Let's say we're under 300 years old.
Yeah.
Compared to civilizations that have been around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Obviously, those civilizations are more developed. Their ideas are more developed. They've gone through this kind of thing.
Well, they're actually regressing, bro. Look at the US. The US is actually fucked.
Okay.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
Every day, I've joined all these tag groups because they're supposed to be funny. Conservatives threatening us with a good time, all this shit. And you actually read the stuff, it's not funny anymore. Like, it was funny for the first few weeks, but it's real stories every single day of really fucked up shit that's happening there. And this is supposed to be the beacon of democracy in the Western world. All right, if America is setting the pattern for everybody else, things are just going to get worse.
Yeah.
Like, if America's ahead of us by a few generations in terms of advancement in rights and shit, we're going backwards.
Yeah.
As a minority, it's actually scary.
Okay.
And people don't seem to be awake to that. They think it can't happen, or we've got it in living memory. It's happened to other minorities in Europe.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you feel like Europe as a whole? Or let's talk about the UK because that's the other, I guess.
So look, I'm not an expert on. I'm not an expert on any political issues, but just based on what I'm reading, like, it's just. It sounds like people are not happy with their living conditions. Things are going backwards because, as usual, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, the middle class gets squeezed, it disappears. All right, they need a boogeyman. They need to blame someone. Let's blame immigrants. Let's blame Muslims. Let's blame all the others. And it's just populism is spreading all over the place. You think, how can people be that dumb? But
so how far does it go? Where does it keep?
You've got some European countries now that have far right parties in power, or in coalitions or whatever.
Yeah,
I was just reading today that apparently the immigration minister for Italy is like some far right from some far right party. He's the immigration minister. They're not interested in governing. They just want to be interested in controlling immigration. Who comes into this country?
Yeah,
you got here in Australia. You got Peter Dutton, the potato. Is he immigration minister? I don't know. Did he get back to being the role? He's an actual fucking hayawan, bro. Like, that guy's fucking scary. Like, if he was prime minister, I'd be fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Like, he's an animal. He just fucking lies straight out. He doesn't care. He's got absolutely zero empathy for people. Like, what are we waiting for? What are we supposed to do? Well, I don't even know what we do. We go out and protest. That means nothing.
Yeah.
Because
unless
you're planning, unless you're, like, I don't see protests working unless they're fucking long-winded protests that go for weeks.
Like Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street.
Like that wasn't really a protest. They were just sitting in a corner, weren't they? They didn't really occupy much.
From what I saw, there were
I'm talking about like I'm talking about like 1970s style protests where the fucking entire industries come out and sit in the streets.
Yeah,
like they're probably protesting about paying conditions or whatever, but they sit out and they get violent. They get violent sometimes. I was reading, so I didn't even know this happened in I think the late 1970s or something in Broadmeadows in Melbourne. I think it was Ford or Holden, I don't know, one of the car manufacturers. They had a huge migrant workforce, as usual, treating them like shit. Yeah, because they're migrants, they can barely speak English. The unions, even at the time, were not listening to their membership. They were in cahoots with management. They kept on saying, "Oh yeah, let's not have strikes. We're working getting better." Anyway, the workers went batshit insane. At one point, they did an unofficial strike, or it wasn't a sanctioned strike. I think. I don't know the details, so don't quote me on it. Look it up. But the general gist of it, they went on strike and they fucking smashed up the entire factory. All right, threw bricks at the place, smashed all the windows, the factory was shut down for about a week to 2 weeks, and then the company caved into the demands of the workers. Right? That's what a strike does. You need people to sit out prepared for a long period of time. Having a strike on a... I mean, the last protest I went to in Australia, one of the biggest one, I think I maybe went to one after that, but was against the Iraq War. Biggest not peacetime rally in Australia's history or some shit since the Vietnam War. 250,000 people. Yeah, we're going to stop the war. I felt so good about myself. Yes, I did something. Went home that night. On the news, John Howard comes up and he just dead straight into the camera. These people don't represent true Australians. So just fuck you, all of you. Congratulations, you exercised your democratic right. I'm going to do whatever I want anyway. Fuck off. That's it. So what's the point of protesting? Unless you're prepared.
So do we stop?
No, you don't stop. I'm saying you don't stop. Look, I don't know. I'm conflicted as well. Right? If you don't stop, then they just think they do whatever they want. But if you actually want change, you have to constantly protest. You have to because that was a protest. Everyone went out on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah, we did something. We felt good about ourselves. We went home. They went to war in Iraq anyway. Turned out to be everything was a fucking lie, which we know now, hindsight. Yeah. Right? What did we achieve? We achieved nothing.
So you're saying the protests are not effective enough?
Look, they're not effective if the government has nothing to fear from them if they're literally one Saturday. Alright, cool. There's going to be some traffic on Saturday in the city. Make sure there's enough police to make sure they don't smash up any embassies or whatever. And that's it. And then everybody goes home. And I'll come on the news and say these are not true Australians, and they can all fuck off, and that's it. Fuck off and die. Who cares?
What if it is about people attending those protests so that
are they going to have the protests every weekend? No. Are they going to do it every weekend?
Just let me finish my sentence.
No, I can't. Sorry, man.
I'm saying, what if the reason why people go to these protests is to feel like they did something because they're in a hopeless situation in which, like you said, if you do this, you're screwed. If you do that, you're screwed.
Now, I'm not blaming the people that attend these protests, right? I was there. I went to them. Yeah. And I felt good about myself. Like, I'm protesting. I'm exercising my democratic right. But literally, like, in the grand scheme of things, people might disagree with me. Yeah. They don't, like... I'm not saying you should stop attending protests. Sure. Because you need to constantly just keep the government on its toes. But they don't achieve anything unless they're persistent.
So what if we just change the template of how protests happen?
What do you mean? You're suggesting we burn shit down?
No.
Have riots?
No. Not to the extent that, crimes are being committed. But like you said, if it happened every Saturday, or if it happened for a long period of time, or...
Yeah, that's why you need consistent pressure. Because if it's one protest... or it's a bunch of protests all around the country on the same weekend, deal with 1 or 2 days of bad press, and that's it, you're over it.
How do you get people to pay attention for that long?
That's the thing. If people are not interested, they're not interested. Yeah. You can't make
but you're saying some of these protests with Iraq, whatever.
So that one was like, because Australia hadn't been in a war for 10, 15 years or whatever, and everyone knew it was going to be like a big war, and it wasn't approved by the UN. Right, Australia sees itself as a fair country, like, we only do things by the rule of law. We fucking flouted all the laws there, and we just went gung-ho with the Americans on a little adventure, which we're going to do again by the looks of things with Iran. Yeah. Like, just for no fucking reason. I'm not saying I support Iran, but, like, it's just blatant. They're just going to go fucking wreck the place.
Do you feel like Australian politics is too young to have its own identity?
No, I just think our politicians are fucking cowards. Like, why? Like, we have to stick to the Americans. They're like, that's the strongest alliance. All right, but how about when America was relatively sane? Yeah, like they've always been a bit fucking batshit crazy, but now with Trump at the helm, like they signed an agreement with Iran. America committed to it, and then America said, "No, I don't like. I'm going to rip it up," even though Iran was sticking to all the conditions. Like that's not a sane.
What were the terms of that? Like,
I don't know. It was something to do with the inspections for the nuclear facilities and all that shit. It was negotiated under the Obama presidency with a bunch of European nations and America and Iran. It was agreed to, fucking constant UN inspections, all that shit. Trump came into power. He wanted to rip it up immediately, and the UN's like, why? Like, the Iranians are actually sticking to their part of the deal. Nah, it's a bad deal. So he pulled out of it, and now he's threatening to go to war. Listen to this. This is the best part of it. He's pulled out of it. The Iranians are saying, all right, if you've pulled out of it and you're sanctioning us, we're not gonna do our part either. Like, there's no deal anymore. And then Trump is like, if you break your part of the deal, we're gonna attack you even more. There's gonna be consequences. Like, hang on a second, you fucking pulled out of the deal. Like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't make any sense.
It's like a dad that tells his kid
it doesn't make any sense. Like, I understand. All right, yeah, the Americans, they've got military power and all this shit, but what's going on? What's going on? I don't know. How did we even get to the topic of Iran? We're gonna go to war. We're gonna go to war with them for nothing. We're going to screw up another country in the Middle East. And then more refugees are going to come. And then we're going to fucking cry, oh, the refugees are coming. They're invading our country. Well, don't fuck up their countries. Don't be involved.
That's interesting. So you feel, that's what I mean by identity. Like, because the politics are so young, they don't really have an identity or strength.
I don't know.
Look, I feel like being in Australia, we're very disconnected from everything. Including politics, including...
Like, I don't know. I don't know why Australia tries to throw its weight around. Yeah. Because, like you said, we're really far away from everybody.
And we're very disconnected.
Like, if any of these Asian countries say, you know what, I don't like you, Australia. Like, it's going to take some time for the Americans to get here, if they even decide to get here.
If they decide,
Like, why can't we be like New Zealand? Like, they just fucking mind their own business, bro. They just mind their own business. They do their own thing. Nobody cares about them. They're living their life. No, we just want to be like fucking some top dog. Like, why?
Yeah. I love how New Zealand handled, like how their government handled the recent tragedies and all the stuff that happened in Christchurch. And
like, I don't understand why Australia's not like that. Like, we're becoming like a mean country. We're turning into America. We're just every man for himself. Yeah. We're supposed to be this like egalitarian. I can't even fucking pronounce the word egalitarian society where we look after everybody. Have a go, you get a go. Did you sure whatever that guy's slogan was? Scott Morrison. It's not, man. It's not. Now they're just being dickheads to everybody. So we just want to be dickheads.
Almost like comedic, like tragic.
Yeah, it's tragic.
Tragically comedic.
Can't even fucking get a treaty with our indigenous people. We treat them like shit. They fucking, there's a Royal Commission. I don't know, the Royal Commission about deaths in custody is like 20 years old now. I think out of the 400 recommendations, they've implemented 1 or 2 or something. It was some ridiculously low number. People are still dying in custody for no reason. Every single child in the Northern Territory that's incarcerated is indigenous. Like, is that a normal statistic? That's not a fucking normal statistic. 100% of the children in jail are indigenous. There's something wrong. All right, you've got John Howard. He done his whole fucking the intervention, literally stealing kids away from their families because we know better. Because that worked out really great the last time we tried it.
Now we're still reeling back from that 50 years, 60 years later.
Any fucking comment about, I'll just go on social media, you see all the racists pop out under any post about indigenous people or like, for example, recently, whenever, you know, the police always say, oh, this person's missing, please. Every time there's a Muslim one, you should see the comments underneath it, bro. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, I don't even bother by how. There's real hatred. There's real hatred in
So how do we?
Well, the same way they blame our community. Oh, you got to fix up the fucking Australian community. Has to weed out these dickheads from their own homes. Does that work? No, it's not our responsibility.
There's a double standard there.
Yeah, well, like that. They're actually. You don't even have to look far. You don't. I guarantee you. Go to the Channel 7 Facebook or the Channel 9 one. Any article that mentions anything about a Muslim or has some sort of ethnic name, and watch them to come out of the woodwork.
I've seen them. I've heard the discussion point that people like Trump coming to power, there's not a lot of benefit to it, but the benefit is before these kind of people were hidden and now they're apparent.
Yeah, all right, cool. They're apparent now and they have power. So where's the benefit?
Well,
these people. But what are we going to do? All right, cool. You know what they are. What are you going to do? You're going to punch a fascist in the street? No, bro, don't. Well, we're better than them. Let's debate them. Like, what's Amir's thing? Let's debate them in the marketplace of ideas and shit. Yeah. You get people in your own community calling you militant leftist heroes because you say, there's nothing wrong with punching a fascist in the face. Yeah, I'll probably get bashed. If I went up to a fascist, like one of those skinheads, and I attempted to bash him, I'll probably break my wrist because I have really weak wrists because I'm a programmer. and then he'll probably stomp me and I'll die. Right? So I have to. I'll obviously evaluate the risk and reward of punching a fascist in the street.
Also,
but other people, if you can
assault.
if you can get away with punching someone in the street that's standing there calling for the death of you and your community and your family, all right, and all you can do is throw a punch and tell them get the fuck out of this public space. That's how you do it.
So if
you can't debate the people. If someone's saying I want to kill you, and you go, oh, please don't kill me. Like what argument do you have? If someone started that point, I hate you, you should die. How do you take them back off that position? Because that's not a logical position, right?
Right.
So how do you use logic to take someone out of a position that they didn't use logic to get into in the first place? Like, you can't.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You can't reason with them. Fucking Nazis.
But these people are doing things, right? Legally. Okay? They're not right. I don't agree that they're right.
So, like, this whole legally thing...
Yeah. So right. is there not a way?
Fucking legally, Aboriginal people weren't considered people until 1960 or something. They were fauna or some shit under our constitution. Yep. Does that make it right?
That's true.
Laws are wrong. Sometimes laws are wrong. In the US, you had all the bloody segregation laws and all that, the way they treated people. Yeah. That they were laws.
Yeah.
If they would say, it's the law, we can't change it, we can't do anything about it. It's not an excuse.
Yeah. It is true, I guess, that change has come through.
How do you know who's a fascist or not? Well, the fucking skinhead that has a swastika on the back of his skull, that's a pretty good sign. I'm not telling you to go fucking punch your workmate that votes for the Liberals. Like, these are card-carrying Nazis, man.
Oh, yeah. It's a tough
like,
situation.
People, that's what they... who's gonna... Like, how are we gonna police that? How do you know who's a Nazi? Yeah. Like, it's pretty easy. People are not gonna go start punching random people in the street. If you're standing on a street corner and you're preaching shit like that, yeah, you deserve to get punched in the head. If you're walking around fucking doing Hail Hitlers and stuff like that, yeah, you get punched in the face. That's it. Simple.
You deserve, but...
There has to be a cost for you being a dickhead. There's a cost, right? The cost is people are going to spit on you and punch you in the face.
Yeah. But I think the issue that I have, I get it and I understand that. But the issue is the consequences that come after are sometimes more damaging than the temporary, okay, I punched him in the face and then what?
So what's happened? Common assault? I don't know. A lot of your previous clients probably faced common assault charges. What is it?
Yeah, assault, yeah. It'll be assault,
so you get a good behaviour bond for the first time, go to jail. I don't know.
But what's the benefit of that?
What's the benefit, bro? You're denying them space. That's right. Because, right? That's what you're saying. Oh, now we know where they are. Yeah, now that they're in public, they've got a bigger platform. Yeah. And they can spread their poison to more people.
But what avenues are they using, right? They're using... why can't we use the same avenues?
I don't know. Right. I don't know why we can't use the same avenue. Because I think hatred is easier to preach than inclusiveness. Yeah. Because it's a very simple message.
No, but
you don't have a job. Yeah. It's that Muslim guy do. Oh, you don't have a wife, or the Arab guys or the Muslim guys are marrying 4 wives, or it's some random.
But it's not necessary that you love these people, right? You're obviously very.
Who?
You're very obviously, and I think
loves what? What do you mean? I don't get the question.
I'm saying that it's obvious that you don't love these people, right?
Who's these people? The
Nazis? The people that we're talking about.
Of course, I don't fucking love them.
All right. So the question I'm asking, okay, is there's hatred coming from them. They're spitting hatred. They're spitting, putrid.
And please don't tell me, reflect it with love and shit.
No.
These people are not going to change their mind.
Look, I don't have the answer. I'm just trying to explore the different possibilities. What I'm saying is, why aren't we using
hatred?
Not necessarily hatred, but why aren't we using the same?
Because ISIS is just the exact opposite of the Nazis. They feed off each other. It's like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
ISIS goes, the Westerners hate you. They point at the Nazis.
Yeah.
They want to kill you. The Nazis go to their people, the Muslims hate you, and they point at ISIS. They want to kill you, and that's it. And they feed off each other. They actually feed off each other.
And the monster grows.
So if there's an ISIS fanboy in the street preaching, he should get punched in the face as well. All right, same.
That's
way.
fair.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not telling you because they're the same. They're the same. They're exactly the same cut. They're just literally
opposite ends of the
different people they want to exterminate. They both should just fuck off and die. Like, seriously, that's it. It's that simple.
Let me give you a case study, right? I don't know the exact details, but it was pretty interesting. And I think it was a reporter who did a massive study and found that people in Russia were a part of what they called bot farms. And basically their job was to go online, create memes, and just launch, right? And then they'd have like pro-Texas rallies, and they'd organize this massive rally, and then right across the street they'd also organize this pro-Muslim rally, right? And the idea was to create conflict. And then the overall concept was, if we create conflict within America, we can create a sentiment that would empower Trump to become elected. And that's how the whole, that's how Russia was involved in the elections and all of that stuff. So that has happened. Like, we know that has happened. There are massive bot farms, literally people's jobs day and night is to create conflict. I just feel like, putting whether it's right or wrong aside, I think it's incredibly creative.
Well, they're smart. Oh, I'm not going to give it. Oh, I'm not going to take it away from them. That's pretty clever if that's what they did.
So what I'm saying is, why don't we have think tanks that are coming up with creative ways to support?
Because what we have in our countries, if you're talking about the Middle Eastern countries, we've got a bunch of dickheads in power that the moment they find anybody smart that doesn't think exactly like them, they chop them up in their consulate. They kill them. That's what they don't care. They're not interested in furthering it. They're interested in, how do I stay in the presidential palace for as long as I can, and how do I make sure my kids stay in it after I die? That's it. That's their life plan. I couldn't give a fuck if the country's falling apart.
What about us here in Australia?
What are we going to do in Australia, bro? We can't do that. We can't even fucking raise enough money to build a mosque.
Some would argue that we have too many mosques.
Whatever. Like, we can't raise enough money to raise a building of any sort. It takes 6,000 years. And when one organisation tries to do it, people come out, we've got too many mosques, they fucking start bagging it, everybody bags out each other. Meanwhile, we end up with nothing. And then at one point we end up with no fucking funeral grounds because we're so inept, and we have to bury our grandparents in the Anglican graveyard section. True story. Because literally there was no fucking place to bury people at Rookwood because the association that was responsible for it couldn't pull its finger out and get things fucking sorted. You know how many people are dying on average. You know how much space you have. This should have been fucking planned years in advance. What are we going to do when he runs out? Oh, you got to go to bumfuck middle of nowhere to bury your grandparents. Sorry, we can't drive you there because it's out of our range. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do then? Yep, go organise your own burial with the Anglicans. They allocated a section of their allocation.
But this is what I mean by when I say, some might say there are too many mosques. I think what we're lacking in our community is not more masajids, but more places, but institutions.
So I wholeheartedly agree with you, right? But when you have Tiny Association A, whose sole purpose was to establish a mosque back in 1978, it was established, and they've been working towards it for the last 30 years. And Tiny Association B had the same dream that started a couple of years later, and their sole purpose is to establish a mosque. I think it's pretty silly to come literally at the end of their journeys. So, why are you building a mosque? The entire membership has been working towards building a mosque. All right. We were so the community is so unorganized or whatever, or poor or whatever you want to say. It's literally taken them 20 to 30 years to finally realize their founding reason. Like, we need to have a mosque. They were formed in probably a room this big. That's would have smelled much worse. All right. I don't know if you've been there. Your room's pretty clean. I'm talking about the places on top of fish. There's actually a masala on top of a fish shop, bro. That's rank. Anyway, you can't. You try to go Jum'ah there. I went there once. I'm trying to pray. I'm not saying I have like super khushu' normally in prayer, but in this prayer, all I can think of was, I'm gonna vomit. Just please hurry up. I want to get out because you can just smell fish. Anyway, like, that's what they had. Small places. They want to build them. They want to make mosques. So to build rehab centers, to build all that kind of stuff, you need organizations that are founded to build these things. All right. You can't go to Kasula Mosque Association and say, hey, how come you guys didn't build a rehab center? Because they literally have no expertise.
Why can't they be both?
Because
once they build the mosque, they have the building.
Because Ahmed Abu Tanke, who came here in 1970 and is about 70 years old now, he has no idea what a rehab center is or the first thing about it or how to run it. He knows that to run a mosque, he needs a guy to vacuum, he needs a guy to make the adhan, and he needs someone to come off the bathrooms after Isha or something. That's it. It's not his area of expertise.
But then someone with expertise comes along and goes, "Hey, I want to start running martial arts classes in the mosque."
Well, do they do that? Because
Not that I know of here.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, all these oldies as well are scared.
Yeah.
Oh, God, again, maybe this is going to happen to us one day. You've built this thing.
Mm.
You finally realized your dream.
Yeah.
And then you feel like someone's going to take it away from you. Mine.
But why? But
I don't know, bro.
look, I'll give you an example. All right, when I was in the UK last year, I was talking to a guy and I was explaining to him what NGOs were, non-government organizations, and I was saying like some NGOs, they focus on working with at-risk youth.
Yeah. There
are some NGOs who are focusing on all of these different things, and then he just looked at me and said, "Oh, like our mosques do that stuff." And I had like double talk. I go, what do you mean? Like, because we have NGOs, but they're not like super massive here. Like our mosques do that. And I go, give me an example. He goes, I'll give you an example of the program of my local mosque. He goes, 5 to 6, like just off the top of my head. He goes 5 to 6. We have like a youth drop-in center, right? There's a pool table downstairs, like people can come play pool, whatever. He goes 6 to 7. People who are old and lonely come to the mosque, and then the young people stay back and they hang out with these old people. Yeah. Right? And as we're having this conversation, literally we're driving past the mosque, and I see what I see at local community halls here. Is mums and dads with young kids, and they're all wearing like karate outfits, whatever, and they're walking into the masjid. They're walking into the mosque.
So they're using the masjid.
So I'm like, oh, what's going on here? He goes, oh, this mosque, it's known that they run
karate lessons.
Yeah, karate lessons inside the mosque, right? So when I hear, one of the people on the Day of Judgment, they're gonna they're gonna be shaded is the people who have attachment to the mosque. Like, what are we doing as a community to build that attachment to the mosque?
Nothing.
If all it is a mosque and it's a building in which I go pray, I can pray in this room. I can pray on the grass outside.
Bro, I can tell you a lot of things we're doing to actually break attachment to the mosque. I don't know if I told you about this story. A few weeks, when was it? I can't remember. I was at the Kimber Mosque on the weekend for something. Praying Asr. During prayer, a little kid walked up to where the sheikh is praying near the mic, started going, go, ga, 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 like just babbling, baby talk, 2 or 3 years old, right? Yeah. It was babbling near the microphone. Obviously, it's blaring out through all the speakers. Wasn't that disruptive, right? Done it maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the 4 rakah. Literally, as soon as the last salam was made, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, some guy got up and fucking went up like he had a fit. Don't bring your kids to the mosque. And then he identified himself as the general manager of the mosque. I go, mashallah, this is the general manager. If you can't control your kids. The guy's praying, the poor father that came, probably had his kid next to him, and the kid fucked off. What is he supposed to do? Was he supposed to trample over people in the middle of praying and grab the kid? Like, it's a mosque, you bring your kids to it. The kid made some boo gaga. The sheikh didn't even say anything about it. Who are you to go up and start shouting and screaming at the mosque? The cognitive dissonance was real. Like, he was screaming that you have to respect the mosque, and he's screaming inside the mosque. So this is why people don't come to the mosque. Oh, I don't know if that's why they don't come, but that's
it's an example. It's an example of a greater.
And then I don't know if you saw that article in that post. Some guy came to Eid with his wife in Melbourne to one of the mosques, and they literally did not allocate a single space for any females to attend to the mosque. So the guy's wife had to stand in the car park while he prayed Eid prayer. Like, why? Is it that hard to?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We have places of worship, but what are they being used for other than worship?
Nothing.
So I think that's the one
Punchbowl
step.
Mosque at one point had like this whole drop-in center that was involved with FAMC. But as they expanded, they had to knock down the building, the house that was being used for FAMC, and then it was just never replaced. They do kind of Friday night lessons for the guys and stuff like that, but they generally don't get used for community events.
I see that as a massive problem, and I see that as the step one of several steps towards getting to a point in which we have a voice. If we don't have people in our communities that can stand up and know what they're talking about, right? Because this is a part of the problem, right? We're all dumb. We don't understand, or we're not in places of positions of power. We're not in places where we know even to the where what we're talking about to a certain extent as well. Our information is limited. Yeah. We don't have enough people in our communities that are confident or have expertise. Or
I don't know, man. I don't know if Australia's got a unique problem because the Muslim community is so fragmented with so many different cultures, whereas in other maybe in the UK it's a lot more cohesive. Like
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of subcontinental people.
Yeah,
Like that's the majority.
Yeah.
Whereas here we've got lots of smaller communities, and the community as a whole is much smaller.
So how do we bridge that gap then? If we have all of these smaller
Well,
communities?
we've tried with Anik. I think that was step one.
Yeah.
But a lot of people still don't follow Anik. If you go to Facebook, Anik apparently kuffar, according to some people.
I've seen
some hectic brothers. They've all got lions as their DP.
Mm.
This is a very depressing podcast, bro. Why do you talk about these topics? Thought we were going to be talking about fun things and having a laugh.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Not fucking Muslim community politics. It's the saddest thing in the world.
What game are you playing? What games are you playing now?
Well, I was playing BattleTech.
Yeah.
On Friday I bought it. It was on special. It's like a turn-based game with mech warriors. It's based
like it's a board game?
No, it's a computer game, but it was based on an old 1980s small tabletop wargaming thing.
Yeah.
And I played a bit on Friday, and I was really looking forward to it. And then came last night to play it, and now it's constantly crashing to desktop. As soon as I try to load a mission, it crashes. I got really cut because you know me. I always say I got nothing to play. This one I actually enjoyed it, so I had to log a bug report with the support, and I sent them all these files and shit they told me to send, and I got a response today saying, "Oh, that's strange. We can't see any reason why it's crashing, but we can see it crash. Just wait until the next patch is released." Which we don't know when. I'm fucking filthy, like bro. Like, why? What kind is that? Like I literally just bought it on Friday. Yeah, it's been out for ages. No, it's been out for ages. I waited for it to go on special. Yeah, it was normally $60, and it was on special for $19. Yeah, I'd be absolutely filthy if it was $60 because it's also past the refund period. I played 4 hours, so I can't refund it. So then I started playing Into the Breach.
What's that like?
That's also another like turn-based. Games.
You enjoy the turn-based games?
Oh, it's nice and easy. I can take my time and think.
Yeah, get up and leave it and come back to it.
Yeah. What have you been playing?
Me, I haven't really... I don't know, man. The last few months haven't been really active. I got We Happy Few.
Yeah, I wanted to get that, but it's pretty expensive though.
Yeah, I got it when it got slashed. Like I add stuff to my wish list, and then as soon as it goes on sale, I buy it.
What did you think of it? Because it was banned in Australia for a point.
Was it?
Yeah, it was censored because of drug use.
Yeah,
the joy pills that you take.
It was good. It had a Bioshock feel to it.
Yeah.
But it was a bit different in its mechanics. It's kind of like futuristic, but also it's got like the past. Yeah, it's really good. But I just don't know. I don't have the time as much as I used to. And, you know, with the podcast and all of the other projects that I'm trying to start up, and it's interesting. Like when I find time, you know, we get together, play some board games, do something here and there online. But I don't know. I feel like AAA studios have dropped the ball in the last.
So even this BattleTech wasn't a AAA studio. Yeah. It was from Paradox Interactive and. That was the publisher. Yeah. I don't know who the actual house was.
That's why I love the Switch so much, man. The Switch has so many indie games, and the indie games are where it's at. They cost you $5. Yeah. They have an interesting mechanic, maybe two. It's good. You can play it for a few hours, and then you can put it down, and you don't have to. There's no investment. There's no. That's probably that or party games in which like you're kind of socializing, not the party games as in like
I can't do party games, man.
Like Mario Party is probably one of the best games on the Switch.
But why did they only make it 4 players? Doesn't it feel like a waste? Couldn't they have done it more?
It's a good question.
Like, you think they should have supported at least 8?
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's like it seemed. I think the older versions you could play more players.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
But then you'd have to have 8 controllers.
Can't you do it all with the little ones?
Yeah, but 8 small controllers. I got 4 in there. It's a headache to manage and keep charged all the time. And...
No, but you might. Well, usually if you're having a Mario Party, someone will come with their controllers.
Yeah, true. Well, I got 4 controllers. We play Mario Party. That game, it can keep a group of people. Set for at least a couple of hours, 2-3 hours on any given night. It's really good. It's simple. It's like kind of like a board game.
It's just all like mini games, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like a giant board. Yeah. And because it's a video game, it does things that you can't normally do on a board game. And the idea is there's each board has its own objective. Yeah. And you kind of play. I guess you play to that objective. Yep. and then after everyone's turn, there's little mini games, and it's just collecting stars. It's a really simple concept, but it keeps you going for a long time. Yeah,
I've got a bunch of Kickstarters hopefully arriving in a few months, so maybe by August there'll be a lot of board games to catch up on.
You're gonna run out of space soon, mate.
I don't have actually any. I have to clean my shelves in my room.
Yeah,
I've got probably, what is it? Maybe like a 6 or 8 cube thing, like you in the garage, where I've put a few other games. But I've moved the games that I'm planning to sell into there as well. So
are you gonna sell them?
I should. I moved them in there a while because the ones that I don't play, like the Game of Thrones board game.
Yeah.
I've had that for ages.
Yeah,
I've never played it, and the last few times that I played it, it was like either Adam's copy or someone else's copy. And then every time I go, I remember why I don't like it. And then I go, that's it.
That's a solid 5-6 hour game of treachery and betrayal.
It's not for me. Speaking of treachery, that risk thing is fucking killing me, bro. So I don't know why I do this to myself.
So we're playing an online game of Risk at the moment, and it's 50 players. 50
players,
all done through a Facebook group.
Oh my god!
And we're expecting it to take
I've got
upward of 10, 12 months, something like that.
Probably more. Alia had to betray her first person on Saturday. She was gonna cry. I took a picture of her as she did it. She was gonna cry. She goes, "Oh my god, I feel there's like," she was like holding back the tears. It was at the airport. She betrayed Burak.
Yeah.
And then he sends her a message, like,
is that
very guilt trip message. He goes, "I was expecting to get betrayed, but not on turn 1." And then Burak has left the chat, and he left the chat as well.
So dramatic. Yeah, it's interesting. You know the game, Mafia.
Yeah.
Right. I've actually stopped playing Mafia because I so much enjoy sitting and watching. I don't even like narrating. I just sit and I watch it because I feel like so much of people's real world reactions comes out. And then like the people who you don't expect to be cunning and like even this Risk game, like people are like, yeah, bro, whatever, I'm just gonna do whatever. And then all of a sudden they're in, 15, 20 chats and there's people and they're planning and plotting and scheming and they're trying to be Lannisters on the world map.
It's too stressful.
I find it interesting to watch, and the reason why I joined this one was because our admin Adam told me that there's no spectators. You join. So it's I don't know, it's interesting to watch.
Where are you based again?
I'm in South Africa. In an interesting position. I'm not going to discuss too much about it, but
knowledge is power.
That's right.
Anyway, loose lips sink ships. Right?
That's it. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
1 hour's over.
Yeah.
Talk shit the whole time. Awesome.
I don't think it was shit. I think there were some nuggets.
It's probably very uneducated. I'll have Will listen to it and he will smash me with my political opinions.
Excellent. But we'll have you back hopefully soon.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thanks.